All right.
Can you see the screen? Anu?
I can, but the PPT isn't there. Right?
Okay. Right now?
Yes, it's there.
Okay. Okay. Young adults, I don't want to call you children. I know you want to be seen as young adults rather than just kids. I want to tell you the idea of showing that World Economic Forum presentation in the beginning is not to scare you, but to make you understand that what is being thought of is going to be your realities and mine. What we had before is a thing of the past. For example, my dad, he was a design engineer for the Indian Railways. For 35 years, he worked in the same company. It was a quasi-government entity where they were designing railway coaches. Today, if you see, most people don't stay in the same job, they keep on moving. The reason being that everybody aspires for better and better, not just better remuneration, but jobs that are better suited to them, to those people who are looking for a better opportunity. So when you are looking at the future, don't think that you will only hold one job or one career. It has been said that every human being, especially those that are progressive thinkers, will have more than 4 to 5 jobs and multiple careers in this lifetime. We used to say that a rolling stone gathers no moss. What that means is when you keep moving, you don't benefit. But that is not true anymore. Things have changed. So what I want you to understand is that the answers are not just outside, but a lot of answers are within you. So when you want to find your career path, you have to first look within yourself, because there are so many chances, so many choices that you have to make. Now, those of you, I heard some of you say you're in 10th grade. Some of you said 8th grade. One of you said 12th grade. Now, when you are in whichever grade you are in, there are so many choices that you have to make, right? So when you have to make a decision related to your higher education, even the choice of subjects that you make in grade 9 or in 11th will have an impact on what you do in the future. Unlike in the past, today you can change even if you have made the wrong choice. So do not worry. Choose the things that you feel are best suited for now, okay? You don't look just at what your friend is doing, what your cousin is doing, what your neighbor is doing. Look within yourself. Ask yourself, what are my interests? What is my ability? You have to understand that it is through self-reflection that you understand what you are good at. It is not only the economic factors or the values or the personality of the individual, it is a whole collection of all of these things, okay? So when you sit and think to yourself, especially now, you have time on your hands. I know most of you are spending time gaming, some of you are watching Netflix, some of you are catching up on your sleep. I know there are so many demands on your time, but it is also important for you because you owe it to yourself. See, when you were a small kid and you brought a star home and told your mom, Amma, see, I've got a star. See, I've got 3 stars. Those were the days when you had those kind of incentives. Today, you need to look at yourself as an individual, as an entity that has to make certain choices. You have to do this because you owe it to yourself, not because you want to make your parents happy, not only because of that. Yes, every one of us is motivated to see that our parents are happy. But it is also imperative to see, who am I? What are my strengths? What are my capabilities? What is my personality type? For example, when you are supposing you take up a marketing kind of a job where every single day you have to go and meet different people, and you are an introvert, you feel very miserable because you're not happy doing that. But at the same time, let me remind you that in any job that you take, your communication skills are absolutely important. So, should you know and understand yourself and realize that that is one area that needs a little bit of enhancement, please get going. Look at a Gavel Club, maybe look at Toastmasters, maybe People Pro has a program, maybe there's a Trinity exam that you can do to enhance your public speaking skills. All of those things will come in useful later on. Many times you think, why am I doing all of this? And also parents get really frustrated when children start with something and then lose interest in a couple of months and then want to start something else and then yet another. But don't forget that each of those learning opportunities gives you some skill and something that will keep you going. It may not that you become the best saxophone player if you've started saxophone, but it still will mean that you've been able to manage your time along with your academic pursuits. So there are very many things to be learned from doing all of this. Okay, so please don't just look at others. Start looking within. I want to share with you few things that really make you which impact career choices. So if you look at it as a boat, okay? Look at the goal is your, everybody wants to get your career goals, right? But then there are so many factors that come into play, including chance. Now I'm going to explain this to you. The personal factors, meaning your interest, your skill, your value, your vocational maturity, all of those things are the body of your career sailboat. If you imagine you're navigating through this thing, which is your career sailboat, you have all of these personal factors. Apart from this, there are social factors, your cultural realities, certain things that are fine and in keeping with your cultural identity. Now, for example, when I say your values also make an important is also an important consideration to be borne in mind. Why do I say that? Why is values important? So culturally or ethnically, or if your religion doesn't allow you from, for example, for a person who's following Islam, it is not, it is haram to take interest, for example. Now, if you go and join a bank that does not believe in Islamic principles, constantly your values are being questioned within yourself. Now, if in your family it is not accepted to drink or smoke, and you go and join the Indian Tobacco Company, ITC, for example, or any company that has smoking and drinking involved, and you're constantly in an environment where these things are being practiced, and it is not in keeping with your principles, you're going to feel a sense of unhappiness. You will always have this niggling feeling of, am I doing the right thing? So it's important for us to understand those cultural values that also shape our thinking. The social realities. Now, for example, right now, with what is happening with Corona, so many of my students have had opportunities to go abroad, but they were sitting and studying here. They've been accepted with scholarships to universities overseas. But this whole entire year and more, they have been studying online. Those are things that are beyond our control, right? Similarly, chance. just like when you are in a boat, the waves also make an impact on how you go forward. Those things that are uncontrollable and unpredictable also play a part in what you get to do. For another example to give you, sometimes a chance meeting, just by sheer coincidence, you may have met with, for example, your childhood friend's father, who is in a profession and he spoke very, very enthusiastically about that profession. Maybe you will even consider that. So that is chance, right? So all these factors come into play, and it's just not one thing. Now, as a person who's been working with young people for a very long time, I graduated in 1986. None of you were even born then, I know. But I always tell students, unless we constantly upgrade our skills, nobody will come to us. And right now, everybody talks about passion. Everybody says, if you've found your passion, then everything else falls into place. But let me tell you that there has been increasing research that shows that if you are interested or curious about a particular thing, and you are constantly engaged in that particular thing, be it computer science, be it, say, you're very good with bio-related things, you're interested in it, you're fascinated by it. When you keep on doing that, whatever that subject is, you over time, passion can be developed. This researcher called Cal Newport has actually studied this phenomenon. Because we bandy about this term called passion, so many times young people come to my office very, very sad, saying, oh my God, ma'am, I haven't found my passion. I don't know what it'll be. I'm a loser. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Let me tell you, don't worry about it. All of that can be cultivated if you just get engaged in different activities that spark your interest. So while you plan your careers, you have to first understand what are some of your skills, what are some of your strengths. Discuss different roles. Look at, I don't know whether it's Mr. Google or Mrs. Google, but this Google fellow has a lot of information, and you can all the time, any time at your fingertips, you can just Google it. If you've come across a new terminology and you're curious about it, please find out more. The first point of contact could be internet, but find out more through people who are engaged in that activity. Explore that career. Explore what options, if you take up, for example, recently I worked with a young boy who wanted to do aerospace. He was so fascinated. From ninth grade, he has been studying various books. He's been following, he wants to create a colony in Mars. This is his aspiration. He was so clear that this is what he wants to do. Now, when we started looking at that option of career, which is aerospace, and he was very, very keen on going to the United States for this, some of the feedback we received was that he wants to particularly go and work in NASA. Now, most of the schools arrange one NASA trip, and that gets you going. You are so fascinated because you go and see all of the astronauts, you see how it happens, how the whole thing takes off. And now Richard Branson is also adding to the mix. But let me tell you, it's not always easy, because in every country, there are certain protocols and there are certain security circumstances which may prevent you from going and joining a NASA unless you are an American. But you can still work in subsidiary companies and you can do the very same thing. You may supply some instrument or some application that NASA will be using, for example. Similarly for everything. So explore different options, set goals, And when I say set goals, set realistic goals, not goals that are, just dreams that cannot be realized. If you have a family who says there's no way you're going abroad for your undergraduate studies, and you keep dreaming because your friends are going, you're going to be very disappointed. So you need to have those conversations with your parents right from the beginning, not suddenly and then feel very resentful. Okay? It is really imperative that we all come to an understanding, you and your parents and your counselor, whoever he or she may be, to understand what is realistic and what is not. And you also have to understand what training needs to be done to actualize that goal, whatever the goal may be. This depiction I saw from Pinterest, which had everything in a very succinct way. Know your values, know about yourself, identify, research your career options, and link it to your major. When I say major, what I mean is the subject, because I'm quite aware that there are some of you who are in 8th and 9th grade. So major means the subject specialization that you will choose. Okay. Now, those of you who are considering studying in India, you get to do a 3-year bachelor's program. It could be a BA, it could be a BSc. And if it is engineering or a professional qualification, it will most probably be 4 to 5 years. So if you're going for medicine, it will be 5+ years. So depending on the subject you choose and the profession you have identified for yourself, there will be different number of years to put in to achieve that goal. Now, let me also tell you, should you want to go overseas, the model could be different. In the European system, most undergraduate, which is your bachelor's program, is 3 years. In some places, like in Scotland, it is 4 years. And in some places, you may have a 3-year program followed by in between, there may be a year of industrial experience, which is a very good thing because you actually get to work in your chosen field. And that gives you an idea of what it is like to be in that world of work. Okay, so these are in a very small synopsis form. This is what career planning is all about. Now, I did this exercise with a couple of my students where I made them make a fingerprint of their thumb. We enlarged it to a very great extent, and each individual child was asked to write about things that were really, really important to them. This picture is not from that, it is from Pinterest, but I just wanted to share with you that this was an exercise that you could do also with your friends, maybe, or with Anu, where you can talk about the subjects in school that interest you, the activities, your interests, your values, your hobbies. Those things enhance awareness within yourselves. Before, we never thought self-awareness is important. I have been teaching counseling skills for the Emirati women of Sharjah Women's College for a B.Ed program. And there was so much of emphasis on how this self-awareness comes into play while deciding careers. Now, I just touched upon the fact that COVID has brought about a lot of change. Now, it doesn't mean only COVID. Always there are changes that come about. Change is a universal constant. So while it is good to dream big, you also need to think of an alternate career, maybe 1, maybe 2. Okay. Now, those of you who are thinking of a career like a profession like medicine, right now in India, it has become mandatory for those students who want to study there to pass a NEET exam. Now, even if you decide, no, I'm not going to be studying in India, I'm going to study in the UK, or I'm going to study in, say, Netherlands, or I'm going to Malaysia for my medicine, Why would I need the NEET, right? That would be what you're thinking of. Now, let me tell you that should in the future you want to go and practice medicine in India, or you want to do this clinical cycle in India where you go and do practical work, unless you've got a NEET exam score, you will not be allowed to do it. So those of you who are in 12th and are dreaming of medicine, and those of you who are in 11th or 10th and aspiring for that, just keep that in the back of your head, back of your mind, okay? That should you want it, you would need to do the NEET. Now, if you're thinking of UK, you have to do the UK CAT or BMAT. For a profession like medicine, there are some entry-level requirements which are more rigorous, because it is not an easy thing that you take on a whim. It is something that it requires a lot of commitment. So in the North American system, be it US or Canada, nobody can go into medicine directly after high school. Everybody who wants to do medicine first has to do an undergraduate program. It could be biochemistry, it could be anything. It could be life sciences, it could be neurology, anything. And then you have to do something called an MCAT, and then a very rigorous interview process. And then you don't get an MBBS. There you get directly an MD. Okay? So depending on what subject you select at the MD level, that's what you will be doing. So let us, whenever you're thinking of setting goals, please learn to adapt to change. Like, for example, if for something goes wrong and the company in which your parents are working suddenly lets them go, what are you going to do? And suddenly you have to leave the country. You have to learn to adapt. It is no sense, no point bringing money from India to continue to stay here. So we need to make decisions that are in keeping with what your family requires and what is feasible for your family. So please dream big, set goals, take action. This is a 5-point agenda that I use for a lot of things in my life. And I wanted to share this with you. It is not just related to careers. Whenever you have to make a big decision, it could be anything. It could be that you are having a physics exam tomorrow, or you have a history exam tomorrow, and that is a subject which is a bugbear for you. Okay? What is the one thing that you have to do is take a pause, reflect on what is the task at hand, analyze what else needs to be done. What have I done? What have I completed? What else needs to be done? Once you've made that analysis, strategize. Okay, these chapters are the most difficult. I have to do this. Otherwise, there are bigger the number of marks allocated to these chapters are more than these other chapters, or whatever it is. You need to then strategize and work smart and learn to prioritize. Yes, you will always have very many things on your plate, especially when you get into high school. There will be so many things, and friends may also make you feel it's uncool to study. Okay? It's never uncool to study. But it's also important for you to have a balance between fun times and study times. So for being able to do that, you need to plan. And unless you plan effectively when you're free, when you have all those things going on in your head, you're not going to be able to do it properly. Okay? Again, now those of you who have reached the 11th grade or 12th grade and still are confused, not sure what you want, there are some psychometric assessments that we do to understand where you're best suited for. What are the careers, 3 or 4 careers that are a good match. We allow you to answer multiple choice questions, and from that, we discern what is going to be a good match. Okay, a psychometric test. Then all of these universities have both online and in-person educational fairs. See, when you are in 10th grade, you may wonder, why should I go to this education fair now? I have 2 more years. Those 2 years will go before you know it. So it is good for you to go to these fairs, not to go and pick up the pens that are free and the little cutie bears that are there or whatever. It is more to understand what else is there. What should I get? What should I plan? How do I plan? What do I have to do? What are the prerequisites? How do I get there? Okay. So it is imperative for you to expose yourself to those kind of things that will start sparking an interest in you. And start, even you may even want to, and if you're going to India or you're going to another foreign country and you're intent studying there, do visit a couple of universities to understand what it is like. You are right here in UAE, you have so many institutions. You could also visit those, even if you're not going to immediately go and enroll. It is for you to understand what is out there. Take up internships if you have the possibility of getting an internship. It will enhance your understanding of your chosen career. Magazines and internet are always there. You can look at it to understand what are all the possibilities. Now, once you've decided what is the career, you need to see what are the interests and aptitude that is needed. When I say aptitude, what I'm talking about is your innate ability, what has come within you, which is within you. And you also need to see what is the path and progression. You have to keep in mind what the market needs. For example, if you take up certain careers and it doesn't have a market in this country or the country that you're choosing to live in the future, then you will have a qualification that really is not meaningful. So as in, you have learned what you liked and everything, but you cannot then put it to use. So it's important to have a good synergy between what you like and what the market needs. And also, all of us, see, when you were in 5th grade, you wanted to go into 6th. When you were in 6th, you were aspiring for 9th, right? So all of us, whether we are 16, 66, or 26, we all want to see what the future prospects are. How is it that I can, improve myself, my situation in life, my qualification, all of that, right? So this is called the growth mindset. See, when you have a growth mindset, what that means is you're open to change. You're willing to embrace the challenges that come your way. Now, all of you, have shown commendable resilience in being able to do everything online. I know it is so hard not to meet your friends, not to be, joking around with them, and this boring internet is not keeping you as engaged as actually physical meetings. So it is important for us to have that physical interactions. But because of the current scenario, we are forced to do this. But when things open up, let us understand that we have to embrace those challenges. We need to accept criticism. And rather than say it's either my way or highway, you have to be able to adapt. If something is suggested to you, try it out. It need not always be negative. Okay? When you avoid challenges and you give up easily, that means you have a fixed mindset. As young people, you are very flexible. And in the beginning, Anu said she's trying to mold all of you. But it is in your hands. Unless you want it, it's not going to happen. Nobody, not your parents, not an external force, not anybody, but you yourself have to want it. Okay? So you have to build your abilities, whatever your abilities are. And let us remember, we all need to be lifelong learners. Unless we keep abreast with what is happening today, we will be extinct like the dinosaurs. Okay? every day new things are coming about. Even in the past, for example, if you became a trained medical doctor and have an MBBS, you get a registration number and that's it. For life, you're a doctor. But today it's no longer the case. You will still be called a doctor, but to get that registration renewed, you should have had so many hours of professional development. You should have published in journals. You should have gone and read up and learned. So it's not like before. Unless we keep abreast with what is happening, build the skills that you have. Remember that initial thing where we spoke about all the skills, upskilling, reskilling, all of that needs to happen. And when we start learning, it opens our minds. It gives us a lot of confidence. When we learn certain things, we become very, very adept at it. We also gain confidence, self-confidence. Now, I'm going to just touch upon 10 different careers. This is from the Hindu newspaper. I see most of you are from India. So although there is a website, if you have a pen and paper, you can write it down. It's called bls.gov, Bureau of Labor Statistics.government, DOB. This is an American website which gives us a lot of information which gives a forecast on various careers of the future. I use it a lot because it tells us about trends. America will have Republicans and Democrats, and we have its own little politics, but that doesn't matter. It's for all intents and purposes, some of these projections come into play and have an impact on what we do. So some of those are also reflected here in the Hindu, which is the UX designers, the digital media. Those of you who have parents or those who have a LinkedIn account, take a look at it. Because today, even you guys, when you come into 11th and 12th, start building a digital footprint by creating a LinkedIn profile. Okay, you may think, oh, I'm so young. Or your parents who are sitting with you may be thinking, what is she talking about? But let me tell you that increasingly people are looking at your digital footprint. So if you are posting negative things on Instagram about your friends, about your whatever, if you're doing an internship, you're posting something negative there, please remember you're doing yourself a disservice. It has to reflect who you are. So your digital footprint will be something that people will look at. Okay, so please remember, if you go into your father's or mother's LinkedIn profile and see what kinds of jobs are available, you will find a lot of digital marketing experts are being called for, customer managers are being called for. And teachers and professors will never go out of fashion because there will always be students. And because of the pandemic, this has impacted a lot of people. So counselors are very much in demand. A lot of people are suffering with mental health issues. There are people who have anxiety issues. So counselors are working round the clock to help people. We now have counselors not just who are meeting face to face, but also online. So, this is another subject that could be of value to you if you are a people's person and like helping people. Now, if you want to be a HR professional, that too is really good, because not only will you be hiring and recruiting people, you will also be helping, enabling the staff you work with to set goals and actualize them. You will reskill the emerging leaders, you will hire the best talent and understand the capabilities of your team and assign them the right kind of responsibilities. Similarly, digital content creators. See, all of us are all the time on the internet. We're always browsing the net. We are looking at the mobile phones. We are looking at ads in Instagram, in Facebook. How are these things created? It is all being done by illustrators, filmmakers, animators. So many times parents come to me and say, my son is talking about wanting to be an animator. Is there anything in it? I mean, would he be able to make a career of it? I mean, I've never heard of it. We all had just accountant, lawyer, doctor, nurse, things like that. What is this? How can he ever be self-reliant? We'll also all the time have to pay for him. Well, parents, these are also emerging careers that are standalone careers. So if you have a creative streak, do explore that possibility. Similarly, product, industrial, architectural, and interior designers. If you've been in this country for long enough, you will remember there were so many roads that had nothing, just sand. But see the amazing structural marvels that have come into being. If you just go on Sheikh Zayed Road, you will see so many new buildings every single day. So these are architectural, people, architects who have created those things. Now, with 3D and a lot of new things coming up, people are also using those to create buildings. So to make it friendly, human safe, they are using emerging technologies. So things are changing at an exponential rate. So if you just sit back, it's not going to happen. You got to move it. Biotechnology, here it is. Now, before you just did either the sciences or the humanities or commerce. But today, it is all interdisciplinary. You could combine biology with medicine. You could combine economics with sciences. You could be in infotech. You could be in financial tech, fintech, as they call it. So things are changing considerably, okay? Now, data analysis. My goodness, this is one big field which is really, really in demand now. So if you're a number cruncher, good with your numbers and excellent in making forecasts and analyzing data, as in you look at what the figures are and you say, okay, this is the trend I see, you will be in great demand. Okay, and this will come through critical thinking and analysis of trends. Everything, even the ads that you see on social media are because of some of the sites you visit. Okay, there is a whole algorithm that goes on for all of that. So computer science is another thing, software development, and because every human being on this planet is using some form of computers, cybersecurity has become very, very important. So if you want to protect people, this is a very good space. And the kind of cyber attacks are constantly changing. So you also need to constantly upgrade your skills to understand what will be beneficial. Okay. Now moving on to, I'm just focusing on the UAE, and just to let you know, those of you who are intending to study here, there are two types of institutions here. One, that are approved by the Ministry of Higher Education. If you want, please take this down, CAA.AE. The CAA.AE is the Council for Academic Accreditation. What that means is, this is the body that accredits or recognizes all of the universities that have this accreditation are under the Ministry of Higher Education. This is supposed to be the best kind of an accreditation. Accreditation means which is of value, which has been vet by the government. Okay, so now those universities that are in Academic City and Knowledge Park, not all of them are in the ministry list, but the KHDA, which is under the government of Dubai, they recognize institutions whose parent organizations are accredited institutions. So just to name a few, if you were to go to BITS Pilani, okay, if you wanted to go to BITS Pilani for a computer science program, for example, in India, you have to write the BITSAT, and it is extremely competitive. Now, the same BITS Pilani has opened a Dubai campus under the watchful eye of Knowledge Village, KHTA. So as long as the parent body, or which is the BITS Pilani in India, approves, and they also do all of the things that are mandated by KHTA, they can run an operation here. So you have the likes of, you have Heriot-Watt, you have Middlesex, now you have De Montfort, so many new universities also coming up, which are approved by the Dubai government. But having said that, the ministry approved institutions are regarded higher than those that are from the Dubai government. Okay. Now to conclude, I'm going to be asking you to ask me questions, okay? But this is a little task I want all of you to do, whether you're in 8th grade or in 12th grade. I would love for you to start a small portfolio. One, this is your holiday homework, okay, guys? I'd like you to start a little diary where you write all of the things that you've done for the last couple of years. When you apply to university, they're looking at everything that you've done from 9th grade. So whether you've been a swimmer, whether you've been a leader in your red house, or you've got some travel experiences, or you've taken very many Trinity College exams for music, whatever it is, okay? Those of you who are in IB and you have taken French, you can challenge yourself by taking the DELF exams, which is by the Alliance Française. Now, what are the volunteer work that you do? See, let me tell you that voluntary work is so good for you to understand yourself. I'm not saying that because I have a background in social work. I'm saying that because so many of my students have had aha moments like, oh, really? When they've gone and done some work. Okay, so look for opportunities to donate your time. It's not about money all the time. It's about your effort. So there are many places in Dubai where you can volunteer your time. Should you need guidance on this or anything else related to this, please feel free to contact me. Write down your mission statement. It may not be, this book or this journal is for you. It's not for everybody. But when you have moments of self-doubt, when you have moments of anxiety, you will look at this and say, oh, these were my aspirations, what all I planned for myself. And that may even give you the impetus to do more. Another very important thing is art. And I haven't put here online learning. There are so many webinars, there are so many podcasts, there are so many online platforms like Coursera, Udemy, edX, where you can do courses online. I'm sorry I didn't put that down, but that is also a possibility. So I'd like for each one of you to do this as an exercise, and I'm happy to vet it and ideas, give you ideas. If you do want it, you can always come and see me, okay? Thank you very much. This is my number. If you need to see me anytime, you can always ask Anu or take down these numbers. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask me. Anu?
Ma'am, can you just show that again?
Okay.
You're on mute, miss.
Can you hear?
Sorry. I'll put the number on the chat for you. We cannot see Rama's face when she's sharing. Rama, could you switch on your video, please?
Yeah. Go ahead and ask questions.
Yes, please. If you've got doubts.
You have any
Utilize
doubts?
every opportunity,
Ma'am,
please. Yes.
Yes.
good evening, ma'am.
Good
Name is
evening.
Azad. Ma'am, I
Okay.
just wanted to know, are you
Can we
aware
see your face, Azad?
of, I'm having some background disturbances, ma'am. Is it okay if I just turn it off? Really sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Tell
Thank
me.
you very much.
Mm.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, as of now, ma'am, are you aware of any voluntary work that we can apply for? Or,
Which grade are you in?
ma'am, I'm in grade 12.
Okay. So right away, I'll tell you that Dubai Cares, Emirates Environment Group, all of them have projects. So Emirates Environment Group is looking for 300 kilos of paper, okay, to recycle. So if you are somebody who can, get from all the friends who are listening in today and those people who live in your building and surrounding areas, and if you're able to collect 300 kilos of paper, you can go and recycle it. You will have the opportunity of planting a tree, which will be your legacy for this country. Okay, you will also get a certificate from the Emirates Environment Group. Please go into Emirates Environment Group to understand what I'm talking about. They're also having
Okay.
a thing which is for what's it called, for all your electronic goods.
Okay.
Okay, so you can recycle your electronic goods, and if you collect plenty, you can give it to them and they will figure out how to utilize the parts of it. They will not do it, but they will give it to the body that does it. Aside from this, take a look at Dubai Cares. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
if I'm not mistaken, 25th September is the deadline. Dubai Cares has a program where they want to hear young people's voices about what education means to them. So if you are somebody who wants to make a difference and want to, talk about the, if you want to talk about education, what it means, and you have a group of people and you want to share your thoughts, if it's something that is worthy of sharing, it will definitely be put up in their website. Okay, this is just 5 things that I'm telling you. There are many, many more. There's Protect Your Mom campaign. There is
Yes, ma'am.
Operation Smile.
Ma'am, PYM is by Miss Premi Mathew, right?
Azad is a winner in a PYM contest.
Oh, very good. Yeah. Azhar, what do you have as your plan? You're in 12th, I think one of the oldest in this group. So what is your current idea? What is it you want to do?
Ma'am, to be honest, till grade 9, I was ardently interested in space and aeronautics. I was really and astronomy, but then it took a different course when my parents suggested like how would I like it if I was given the opportunity to become a doctor. So right now I'm focusing on that. As of now, it's to write NEET, and I'm looking for universities as well. And then I want to do IAS after that, after taking my MBBS.
Okay, I see. Fine. So whatever floats your boat, but let me
Yes,
tell
ma'am.
you, if you're thinking of medicine, to foster the empathetic spirit in you, okay, to get out the helping nature within you, you need to show, or it's not to show anybody, it is for yourself to give of your time. So whether it is Al-Noor or whether it is a blood bank or whether it is an old age home, try and find opportunities where you can give of your time.
Like, ma'am, is this in relation to the voluntary work, ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am,
The reason being, I know in India they're only looking at your marks and your NEET result.
yes,
But
ma'am.
for yourself, I'm telling you, for yourself, for you to better understand people, this would be a good thing.
Ma'am, one more thing, ma'am. Ma'am, when we do these, ma'am, when we visit old age homes, ma'am, it's just something personal, ma'am. But is it like necessary to document it, or is it proper to document it, ma'am?
So When I work with students and we are applying to universities overseas, it's impossible to give every certificate you have earned. Okay, over a period of time from 9th grade to 13th grade or 12th grade, you would have done hazard things. So it's highly impossible for you to submit each and every certificate. So instead, what one does is to create, I told you this profile, right? That profile is what you will
Yes, ma'am.
be diving into and creating a 2-page synopsis of everything that you've done. So if you have been a house captain, you have been the school people leader, whatever it is, or you've been in sports, you've been an ambassador for PMP, whatever, all of that can come into that profile that you're building. It can be a 2-page or a 1-page CV, which will reflect all of this. It doesn't mean, and I advocate that we not lie. We have to put, because sometimes students tend to exaggerate what they've done. I would say, please be honest, because there are students who have got me letters where they've just got it from some uncle saying they worked for 2 weeks in the uncle's company. But what happens there when you're starting your career on a lie, and that is just a no-no for me. Reason being, tomorrow if there's going to be an interview and the person says, oh, very interesting, I see you have worked in an XYZ company for 2 weeks. Can you tell me more? And then you will be going, because you haven't done it, right? So please, let's not deal with lies. I'm not saying you're going to do it. I'm just saying in general. Any other questions?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I have a doubt.
Go ahead.
What should we write to a diary about? Like, what should we write?
Oh my goodness. You have to write about your interests, what you have achieved so far, the travels you've done, the online learning you've undertaken. If you've got a personal statement about what you aspire to do right now, it may change, but those are things that can go into your journal. It's like a vision of who you are at 14 or 15 that will go on changing as you evolve as a human being. See, I am very much older than all of you. When I was your age, did I know that I will set up a counseling center and I'll be helping children? I never dreamt of it. Was I the top of my class? No. But did I want to help people? Yes. So it doesn't matter what you actually, you can just do whatever it is and you can build on it. That's all it takes. You have to keep having a lifelong learning kind of an attitude and an open mindset. Any other questions?
Miss, I have a question.
Identify yourself.
Come again?
Can you tell me your name? Identify yourself, please.
I'm Ashley.
Okay, Ashley, how can I help?
Miss, do we include our travel experiences in our portfolio?
Yes. Especially in some countries, people haven't even seen the back of their state, for example. Whereas people from our part of the world, we travel. So with travel comes a lot of general knowledge, lot of appreciation of art, lot of learning, right? So I encourage students to talk about travel as well.
All right, Miss, thank you.
Which grade are you in, Ashley?
I'm in grade 10.
Okay, and have you traveled a lot?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, and at this point, what are you thinking of? What is it that you want to study?
I'm thinking of studying science.
Okay, but in science, what have you started thinking about a profession?
Yes, Miss.
Which one?
Like some scientist.
Okay, all right, you still have a long way to go, but start thinking about which subject and what are the research things that you can be involved in. Some of my students who were in 12th grade, they did some research work with Khalifa University. So there are lots of opportunities should you want it. Over the summer of your 11th grade, if this Corona wonderful thing goes, you can even go to some university overseas, should you like it, and do a summer program for research, just to understand what it entails.
All right, Miss. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Quite a few students actually
Miss,
aspire
you have,
to become.
yeah, you have told like it will ask from 9th. It will
Pardon?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Who is
like
this?
it will only.
Now you tell me.
Ma'am, it's Kashinath, ma'am.
Kashi.
Okay.
Yes, Kashi.
Ma'am, I am from 7th grade, ma'am. Ma'am, you have told ma'am that.
Yeah, you
He's
are
got-
from 7th grade, yes, but
his
don't
internet
worry.
has issues. He had a question, I think.
Yeah, she.
Kashinath, we cannot hear you.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ma'am, you had told that.
Okay. There's something going on with your internet. I did mention that everything that you do from 9th grade is what you're going to report, but doesn't matter. You can start early in 7th, no problem.
When we go to the university. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I also thought of my career, which is going to be a cardiac surgeon, ma'am. So I already prepared for chemistry, biology, and also started researching on maths also.
Okay. So, my dear girl.
So that's my main goal, ma'am.
My dear boy, now you're in 7th grade. Okay. When you go into 8th, 9th, 10th, you will have exposure to more subjects. So there could be a shift in your thinking. So keep an open mind. You don't have to start deciding your future right away. It's fine to have a goal right now, but I'm just saying that you may undergo change and it may be that you choose another subject. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I already started working on also economics also.
Very good. But you're in 7th grade, so
yes, ma'am.
You will still have opportunity to do that when you start understanding more subjects. Right now, you have a certain exposure, but when you are
now also, ma'am, I also started learning biochemistry also, ma'am.
Very good, but I'm telling you, when you become older, you'll be more aware of what works best for you.
Yes, ma'am. And also I'm also thorough with the concept of astrology.
Okay, good. Keep learning.
Yes, ma'am.
He does a lot of volunteering work also.
I see. Excellent. Anu, is it possible for all of us to be on a frame and take a picture?
Yes, it is possible.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. This is Caleb. I'm still not sure what to take. I've taken science stream currently. I'm in 11th grade, ma'am. Do you know where I'll be able to take a psychometric test?
Yeah, we can arrange it for you.
Okay.
You can give us a call and we can arrange it.
All right, ma'am. In the same number you showed on the
yes.
Yes, I've put it on the chat, Caleb.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Is there anybody here on this call who's still not decided? I mean, if you're in 8th and above, if you've not decided on what you would like to become, is there anybody who's still clueless?
Ma'am, I just said.
No,
yeah, not you, Caleb. You just answered. Yes. Anybody else? Is there anybody else who's undecided?
Even if you are, don't worry about it. Okay.
I didn't decide yet.
Yes, Janaki, Madhav, Arpit.
I
can go to
haven't
the other
decided
screen.
yet.
You haven't decided. Which year are you? Which grade are you in, Janaki?
9th.
Okay.
9th.
Actually, I'm confused. I have many
Interests.
interests, but it's all different.
It's
Like
okay. You start exploring all of those interests. Okay. And then in 10th grade, we can administer a test that will tell us where your strengths lie. So with the outcomes of that test, you can then figure out what would be the best match subjects to attain that goal. So don't worry about it. It's good to have many options, because that means when you have different interests, it's excellent, rather than being, having a multi-dimensional idea is really good, rather than just be focused on one thing, because sometimes that one thing may not work out.
I totally agree
Yeah.
with her. It is always good to have multiple options, because at least you can choose one or two. But when you're stuck with just one, and
Yeah.
something like Corona comes up and you don't have a plan B, what do you do?
Yeah.
Yes, Janaki, you're fine?
Yeah.
Would you like
I'm
to ask
fine.
something? Right.
No, it's nothing.
All right.
Which school are you in?
Indian International School, DSO.
Anybody has questions? Oh, you're all very thorough with what Ms. Rama taught you today, and raring to go, and your portfolio is going to get ready.
I'm so sorry I didn't have, I did it without many questions in between, but I focused to give you the information, and I thought I'd take questions in the end. You
Let
have
me
any other
finish my
questions?
question, Rama. I was asking you a question. I come across many kids who are so much into gaming, and they watch all these YouTube videos, and they think that becoming a YouTuber is probably what they would like to become. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying, what is the future for that?
So gaming, I don't know about just being a YouTuber, but gaming is very much in demand right now. Okay, and they use gaming for many different things. It's not just for fun stuff. So I have students, for example, right now in Wollongong, University of Wollongong, they have a bachelor's program in science in computer science with gaming as one of the specializations. And I've actually worked with one student there. And for masters, they can go for virtual reality, they can go for so many things using that gaming. And in tomorrow's world, those things, virtual reality and all, will come into play even while you're doing operations for doctors. So, but this fad of being a YouTuber for a short time can also change, because right now you don't have much exposure. So you have access to the internet, so you're creating all these TikTok videos and making YouTube films and stuff like that. I don't know if it is good enough for your career. It's a good thing to have, but maybe you will outgrow that interest. So you have to have that at the back of your mind.
Right. So what subjects would they choose?
They can choose any subject they love. But if they're going for computer science, they have to do science with maths.
Science with maths. Right. Any other questions? Children, parents?
Are there lots of parents in the room?
I can see only a couple of them, but I don't know if they're listening.
Okay. There will be an exhibition in Sharjah Expo. It will be in October. I will send it to People Pro later on. It is called the International Education Show, and it will be physically done, but they're not going to bus in the students from schools. Families should bring the children because of protocol, COVID reasons. They do not want too many people to congregate, so they want families to bring the children. I'll send the information. That is going to happen in October. And then there will be the Gulf Education and Training Exhibition that will happen in February. We'll send you, I'll keep sending you the information, so you can pass it on. It's really good for students to have an exposure.
Absolutely. Yes. All right. If there are no more questions, thank you so much, Ms. Rama, for sparing your valuable time. to share
Miss-
this information?
Is that okay?
Yes,
Go ahead.
yes, Shreya. Go ahead.
Ma'am, I'm interested in taking art or veterinary science. Could you recommend a few colleges for that?
Which grade are you in?
I'm in 10th right now.
Okay. So this art and veterinary science are two very different things. Okay. If you're thinking of veterinary science, I would encourage you to look at India as an option because you can go directly into veterinary science. Most other places like US and Canada, you have to first do life sciences and then get in, or animal sciences and then get into it. Both US, Canada. UK, probably you can get in directly, but it's going to be prohibitively expensive. Now, art. If you're thinking of anything in art, be it fine arts or design or fashion technology or accessory design, anything in art, you would need
I like
something
art.
called a portfolio.
No, I like art.
You
Me
like
too.
art? Okay. For art, students who have art as an interest or passion would need to start developing works of art. So they can see the process of growth. Like when you were in 7th, this was my art. But when you become a 12th grader, it will be much more refined. That process is also important. Do you have something that you want to show me? Is that what you're holding?
No,
Yeah. Okay. So whatever it is, anything art related, anything creative fields, you would need to have something called a portfolio, which will have 15 to 20 works of your art. It could be photographs, it could be jewelry designed by you, it could be still life, it could be abstract art, whatever it is. Now, many of the IB schools and A-level schools have art as a subject, whereas CBSE does not have it. So if it is not being done in your school, please look for avenues outside to develop your creativity. Okay? Veterinarian come
Yes.
artist.
Shreya?
Right, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yeah.
this one, if I were to do like an animal welfare program for like volunteering, do you know any place?
Well, so many. Here itself, there is kennels and there is a thing where you can go and help out. But because of Corona, right now it is restricted. Even the penguins of the Dubai Mall need help. There is another thing called Emirates Marine Ecology Group, EMEG. They look after turtles. So there are plenty of things that you can do even from here.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
You're welcome. Are we there yet? Do we
Yes,
have any
I
more
think-
questions?
Any more questions?
Did you click a picture?
I did. I don't know
You
if I
did?
got everybody, but yes.
It's interesting to see because when I'm making the presentation, I don't see the children. I don't
Yes,
see the.
we couldn't see you either.
Yeah.
All right, one last minute, anybody? Or we'll wind up.
Okay,
Yes.
guys and girls, are you all set? I hope you do your holiday
Ma'am,
homework.
do you know, like, for computer science, what all colleges are there?
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
which country?
So many.
The whole world is your oyster, my friend. Right from Dubai, India, US, Canada, Netherlands, Malaysia, wherever you want, whatever your budget, there are courses. Yeah, if you need help, because I know you're in 12th grade, tell your parents, come and see me.
I'm in 11th grade. Ma'am.
You're in 11th, okay, whatever. I mean, but it's good to plan from now to
Yes,
understand what the financial implications are for your parents. You can seek a session and we can go over it. Okay? Anything else?
Every time we try to wind up, there's a question, so I'm waiting. I don't want to say it again.
But that's good, you know.
It's
That
good.
means people are
I wish
listening
all of
and-
them would ask more questions. you don't
No,
ask
because-
questions, then you've probably not understood.
Oh, maybe you're shy.
If you're shy, you can probably put it on the chat.
Yes, you can. Yes.
Because this is a very, very important topic. It is very important because maybe for some of you who are in 8th and 9th and almost thinking, I still have time. But it always helps to prepare years before you reach your 10th and your 12th, because when we were growing up, we did not really have all these luxuries. And I think we kind of just grew our wings along the way. But now with so many options, so many things to choose from, and so much of help that you can get, you can really finalize and focus on your career at a very young age. And it really helps. So please, please take this very seriously, all of your kids. Don't just aspire to be just not have one plan, but have at least a plan A, B, and a C, right? All right, so thank you so much to everybody who joined. A special thanks to Ms. Rama Menon who joined us and gave us so much of valuable input. I think we can give her a round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If anybody needs help, you can see the
Thank you
numbers on the
for
chat
having
box.
me.
Thank you, ma'am.
Most
Thank you.
welcome. Leaders of the future.
Okay.
Keep learning
Bye
and
for
keep
now.
growing. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye.